The government has unveiled a $2 billion package of measures to boost Singapore's low fertility rate. Writing on Facebook, Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong says he hopes this will encourage couples to plan and act, and that we will see more babies soon. In a sign of how important and wide-ranging the measures are, the Deputy Prime Minister was flanked by 4 other ministers at the news conference today. DPM Teo Chee Hean, who's also the minister in charge of population policies, described the Marriage and Parenthood package as the most fundamental component of Singapore's population roadmap.
Regardless of whatever else we do to deal with our population challenge, the core and the most fundamental thing that we want to do is to encourage Singaporeans to marry and have more children. And this is the starting point of all that we do.
The changes range from more money to bring up baby to housing priority for couples with young children to 2 weeks paid paternity leave. If the measures have an impact, the government is targeting a total fertility rate of 1.4 to 1.5. That's still below the replacement rate of 2.1 last achieved way back in 1976. Also mentioned today are the elements that will go into creating a truly pro-family society.
How we bring up our children, the kind of values that we inculcate in them, how we give a sense of peace of mind to the young parents who are bringing up their own children, the kind of early childhood development opportunities that they do not have to worry that if they do not have the means, that somehow their children will be left behind even before they start school.
Now, more measures will be announced over the next few weeks to better support families. For example, in making healthcare and childcare more affordable. 2 other reports are also due out, highlighting the government's strategies in creating better jobs for Singaporeans while maintaining a high quality of life. Now, all these population policies will then be debated in Parliament.
So let's get down to the details. First, all newborns starting from 26 August last year will now have a MediSave account. The parents will also benefit from a bigger baby bonus. And couples seeking help to conceive will get more financial assistance.
Parents will now have more cash in hand as a result of the enhanced baby bonus scheme. Currently, they receive $4,000 each for their first and second newborn. The amount will be raised to $6,000 each. For the third and fourth, they'll now receive $8,000 per child compared to $6,000 previously. The cash gift will be disbursed in 3 installments over 12 months. 50% when the child is born, another 25% when the child is 6 months old, and the rest when the child turns 1. To help defray medical costs, each newborn will have a MediSave account with a grant of $3,000. Well, parents can use the grant to pay for their children's premiums for the insurance scheme MediShield. It can also be used to defray medical expenses such as for hospitalization, selected vaccinations and other outpatient expenses. The grant will be paid in 2 stages, the first after the birth is registered and the second in the subsequent year. MediShield will also be extended to cover congenital and neonatal conditions for children born from 1st March this year.
Together with the extension of MediShield to cover congenital and neonatal conditions, this will go a long way to assure our parents and give them a much greater sense of assurance as well as peace of mind with regard to the medical costs of their children.
More financial help too for those having difficulty conceiving. Currently, the government co-funds up to 50% of assisted reproduction technology treatments, with a cap of $3,000 per cycle involving fresh embryos. This will now go up to 75%, with a higher cap of $6,300. Funding will also be extended to those involving frozen embryos, with a cap of $1,200.
One of the most commonly held misconception is that technology will help solve a lot of the problem, which is actually not true. So while we are coming up with more co-funding for assisted reproduction technology packages and so on, actually the success rate actually is still not very high. So I think we have to send a message that it's much better to think about marriage and parenthood when you're younger.
And parents with children in primary school will get 2 days of childcare leave every year.
There are other efforts to improve work-life balance for parents. Working fathers will get 1 week of paternity leave paid for by the government to be taken within 16 weeks of their child being born. This will be a requirement for births on or after 1st of May this year. But employers can offer it on a voluntary basis to staff whose babies were born from 1st of January. Another new arrangement is shared parental leave. Working dads will be entitled to share 1 week of the 16 weeks of maternity leave if their wives agree.
Spoke to, they're also not prepared to share this 1 week with their wife. They'll rather let the wife take the full 16 weeks because they agree that they actually need the time to rest and also to breastfeed the child.
Well, the government has given built-in flexibility in the implementation of paternity as well as parental leave, so which can be taken within a year by the father. So measures like this will help the SMEs schedule their rather tight labour force around during high and low peaks.
This could also bring about happier workers, which could lead to increased productivity because they can better achieve their aspirations for work as well as starting a family. That could also help in terms of attraction and retention of employees, especially in a very tight labour market.
Singapore's civil service will implement the changes effective 1st January for its 77,000 employees.